Thanks for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts or listen to music. When you have an opportunity, please give us a 5-star review, write a little note, tell us how we're doing. We really appreciate it. It helps us keep this thing going. If you want to reach out to us, you can find us at Facebook at Hidden Tracks. Instagram is at HiddenTracks99, and if you'd like to send in submissions or talk to us or give us any feedback about what we're doing, our email is myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Thank you so much again for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. What's up, everybody? I have Michelle from the awesome punk band Go Betty Go on the show with us today. Welcome to the show, Michelle.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's our absolute pleasure. We enjoy what it is you do. We appreciate what it is you do with your music, and we're happy to have you here. And I hope I don't mess up your name because my wife's name is Michelle, so hopefully we won't get a little, otherwise I'll get yelled at by 2 people today.
Sounds good.
So why don't we dive into Keep Up, new single, first new music in quite some time. There's some things going on in the background that we all went through something together, and then you went through something with a bandmate that was pretty crazy. I'm glad to see she's doing better. But why don't you give a little background on what transpired and what took so long to get back and all the stuff in between?
Well, let's see. Go Betty Go. We tend to work a little slower than maybe some bands do. We've never really been the band to write like 100 songs and then pick, like the best 10 or 12 out of there to make an album or even an EP. We've always just kind of worked on the stuff that we really, really are loving at the moment, and then that's what we develop. Let's see. We just, at one point, Go Bitty Go was what we were doing. It was our job. It was Go Bitty Go 24/7. Everything else came after. And then, we had our few hiccups. We had Nicolette leave at one point, then I left, and then the girls did get some other people to play with them, and then they kind of just stopped. And then we got back together as a kind of like a one-off show that they were doing at the time with the bass player that they had at the moment, Phil. And Nicolette called me. She reached out to me and was like, hey, do you want to play a show with us? Just play a song. It'll be fun. It's just a one-off show. And so I did, and it was fun. We hadn't done that in years. So just the fact that when we got back together, it was so easy. It was just like we started off where we left off. And then we just talked about maybe...
That's how they get you. That's how they get you. It's going to be a one-off. Remember how much fun it was?
Yeah. I mean, even for them, it was like, I think Betty had said one of her friends, I guess they were out hanging out and having a couple of drinks, and then one of her friends was like, oh man, Go Bitty Go should do a reunion show or play again. And Betty was like, okay, without really thinking it through. And then the friend, she kind of took it seriously and booked a show, and then reached out and was just like, okay, you guys have a show. And then they kind of started pulling, their strings, like, are we going to do this? What are we going to do? Like, and then Nicolette came back into the picture, and then I came back into the picture just for a second. And then here we are, which was great, because when we did come back, we all kind of took a break from how fast paced Go Bitty Go was at one point. And, I came back, I had a son already. Aixa was married. So it's like we all had day jobs. We all had our life already. And so we just all talked and decided, hey, okay, let's do Go Bitty Go again. But this time, life kind of comes first, and then Go Bitty Go gets, we put it in where it fits. And that's how it's worked for us. And so now we put out little things here and there on our own, and they're things that we really love and are excited about, just like this new single that we have out.
Yeah, and I'll be the first to say, like, it's fantastic when you can break apart something such as a band, right? And all come back together. And I think a lot of people don't take into account that, especially when you start a band and you start getting a little bit of, provenance behind you, and then it's, not to steal from something, but it's just Go Betty Go, and all you're doing is moving forward, and you're gonna get burnt out. You're gonna just be like, there's a lot of things in life I want to do. This is phenomenal. This is great. I love it. But at the same time, it's also, I'm tired. And
hard work.
I don't think, and I don't think people ever, see it as a real job, especially when a band's starting out. Like, everyone has a job in the band to do. And when you commit to that as your full-time job, and especially when starting a band as a full-time job, there's no money.
Right. We're barely ends meet. It's true. It's a struggle. It's the whole struggling artist. It's just so 100% real. But we just love it so much at some point that we're just willing to go through that struggle as long as we can, until we, like you said, we just burn out. And that's kind of, I think, what happened to us. We were just go, go, go. We were doing a lot of stuff. We were touring, which was all fun. I mean, now when we go back and think about everything that we've done, we're just like, wow, we're so young. And just like to be able to have had that life, it's pretty incredible. We played Warped Tour, we played shows, and we did some runs with some really cool bands. And our friendship is just so solid that we were able to do that, go through hard times, and we're still, so close together. We burned out with music for a little bit, but we came back, which is what matters, right?
Yeah, no, it really does matter. And as I told you, before we started talking, like, I appreciate what it is you do, because it does matter. And going back and keeping to create music and see where you were to where you are now, and to find that balance, it really matters not only in your life, but what you don't see around the world and, from who knows, streaming or people on Instagram. What you don't really ever get is that, thank you so much. It really is important because you garnered fans from all around the world. And when you watch a band that you fall in love with start to go away, it's kind of heartbreaking. So to come back and find that balance and to be excited to create new music again, that's an amazing thing. And I'm happy that you have that again in your life.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you know what? I think now that we've had, some more shows and we've put out some stuff, from when we got back together, randomly here and there we'll see YouTube videos, either that we've put up or just fans have put up, that they've recorded at shows. And so it's fun to see that. And then it's fun to read comments as well. I love reading comments. So,
the minefield of the comment section.
I know. But there's just people that are just really funny out there. And so I enjoy it. I try not to take anything to heart, because of course with the good, there's always some bad. But for the most part, we always have gotten some good feedback. And it's nice to see when, some people do reply or comment just saying, oh my gosh, they're still around. I love this band. I miss them so much. Or I've been looking for this song and I couldn't find it. I'm so glad somebody posted it. And just to like kind of get that reaction, it's pretty cool. It's a feeling that I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, because it's like you feel proud and happy about that. And it's just really sweet that people go out of their way to say something like that for us,
Yeah, it's finding those little tidbits, right? It's in the comment section. I have one that I absolutely love that we got about the show. Someone just said, I love this podcast more than cheese, and everyone loves cheese. And I was like, that's going to stick with me forever. I want to make that a t-shirt because like those are the ones that keep you going to all the bullshit that's behind it.
It's so true. It's like the fact that you've made a stamp in somebody's life, like in such a good, positive way, just even just helping people out, in whatever they're going through. It's a pretty awesome feeling because not a lot of people don't have, a creative outlet where they're able to just put stuff out for somebody to give feedback on, so it's pretty cool. You should totally make that.
I'll send you the first one.
Oh, I would love it. And that I love cheese. And a few years ago, I all of a sudden got like a dairy allergy. So now I can't have cheese and it's so sad.
Oh, yeah. See, I think I would, I don't know. I might be in the hospital still eating cheese while they have me hooked up to an IV. That's how much I love it.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's some stuff like I love cheesecake. So if there's a cheesecake around, I'm like, you know what? I'll just do it. It's fine. I'll deal with it.
I have my EpiPen with me at all times. You'll be okay. Yeah. Now, this is always one of my favorite things to ask, and especially an all-female punk band, which is something that I absolutely love seeing. My wife, when she sees it and sees girls rocking, she's like, they're all my spirit animals. Like when we saw Bad Cop, she told them, like, you're all my spirit animals. And just watching females do what they do in a world where it's unfortunately in the punk world, it was pretty male dominated for a very long time. Did you find any struggle breaking in? I mean, you had a couple things. You're all female, Latino, from California, trying to break into this punk world. How was it received when the band started and just started breaking through?
I think we were received pretty well for the most part. We did have, like the Bangles, the Go-Go's, some female, Joan Jett, all them who kind of paved the way for us a bit. When we did first do like Warped Tour, there weren't that many females on the tour. Maybe a band had a girl singer, but for the most part, it was just all guys. And then Go Bitty Go, which, I mean, we were so used to it was just us four all the time. So we were just so used to just playing and that it was going to be guys. It's so great to see now so many females playing. We love Bad Cop, Bad Cop. We just hung out with them not too long ago celebrating Myra, the drummer's birthday. Super sweet, super cool, very good musicians. And that's, I think, one thing that I have started noticing nowadays is like the girls that are coming out that are playing, like they're shredding, like they're playing amazing.
Yeah, the musicianship is incredible
It's on
nowadays.
a whole other level. It's wild because I don't remember seeing that as much when we were starting. So we would get a lot when we were starting to play. We would get a lot, usually from guys that would come up to us and say, "Oh, we've never heard you guys, but we saw you were all girls playing, so we stuck around to see, like what you guys were about." And they would say things like, "We're surprised, you girls play like guys." and
It's a backhanded compliment.
No, you're right. And I just always found it funny because, like, I get it. I get what they meant, but it was just funny that that's just what they would say. Like, they would just say, "Oh, like, girls are going to play. Let's stick around and watch these girls." But then they would, come up to us and be like, "Oh, wow, like, you guys play. Like, just rock out. You guys know how to play your instruments." So it was, yeah, a compliment in some ways.
And there's a thing to be said, especially, one of my favorite bands growing up was the Go-Go's. And I watched the documentary a while back, and to find out how much, they really did, and how important they were for, for women to write all the songs, to write all the music, to do it all themselves, and how groundbreaking it was. And seeing, as watching my wife, we're like, "Oh, the Go-Go's were my favorite band as a little girl growing up." I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that's amazing, and that's where I want it to go more. Like, I want there to be more of a focus on all girl bands who want to do it and who can shred like how you guys do, and just make it a whole thing, so every girl can be like, "You know what? I can have all my friends if they play instruments, and we're gonna have a band, and we're gonna be awesome."
Yeah. Yeah, it's so sweet and like heartwarming when we get well, I mean, since we've started up to now, like we will get, some young girls who come and they're just like, "Oh, you guys are my favorite band," or "I'm playing guitar," or "I'm playing bass, I'm starting a band like you guys." And it's just super sweet that we can have, positive influence like that on the younger generation, because it's just so cute. It's so cute to see kids excited about playing music, because it's also not offered in many schools anymore. So for them to have to like actually get that interest, it comes from the outside, from somewhere else. So it's really cool that they're into the rock music and they find us and they're just like, "Oh, I want to be like them," and then they go and do it, and then they're probably going to be better than us.
But that's okay, because you came first. Like, that's all you got to look at.
For sure.
And it is sad, looking at today's where there isn't music offered in schools. I've talked to friends, kids. I'm like, "Oh, what do you, in music class, what do you look?" They're like, "We don't have music class." I'm like, wait, what?" And I'm like, I think it kind of shows in the world sometimes that people don't have music, because for me, music is everything. It's my outlet. It is my love. It is my passion. When I don't have the words that I want to say, I find it in music. And I really hope that there's a way. I mean, that you have the School of Rocks, but you got to sign your kid up for it, and it's an extracurricular activity, and that's hard on some people.
Probably expensive. Yeah. Yeah. I have actually wanted to look into that program because my son, he's playing guitar now, and he's really good. He picked it up really quickly. It's pretty surprising, but his school does offer music, which is pretty cool. It's a magnet program, and so he's able to learn something there, which I'm totally grateful for. Just so that he has that outlet, even if it's an instrument he may not, carry on through life. But he at least has that. He's going to learn some of it. And I learned how to play my instrument, or not the bass. I started with the flute in elementary school, but um, I started playing instruments, and that's how I met a lot of my friends, and even like friends after school who were in bands, and just, made those connections, and eventually found the girls that way, just all through music. It was just all through friends that played music. We just had the same interest. And I just hope a lot more kids, just for them to just have that access would be really awesome. But I know that's usually the first program to get cut, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's a shame because music creates that community that I talk about all the time. It creates a community where everyone's there for the same thing, and my tagline of you're not at a concert where strangers, they're just friends you haven't met yet because you're all there for the same thing and it's a community, and that's the way I feel about it. And when music starts to go away in schools and stuff, you lose kind of that togetherness. Like, what else do you come around? Sports has always been there, but sports is a different kind of community. It's a barbaric, a lot of times, community where music is about passion. It's about soul. It's about love. It's about heart. And it can be barbaric at times in the hardcore scene, but at the same time, when you knock that person down, you're picking them back up.
Right. Yeah, music is just different. You can hear a band when you're sad to make you happy. You can hear a band to clean. Like it's just it puts everybody in a different mood that nothing else can do that. You know, it's magic, I think.
I listen, when I'm lazy, when I'm feeling lazy, I can put on music and all of a sudden I'm energized and now I gotta get shit done.
Oh, for sure. I mean, even like if you're cleaning and you start listening to something like, I don't know, maybe like Rage Against the Machine, it's like you start cleaning a little faster and like,
And a little harder.
yeah, music is just something else. And I'm really happy to be part of that world. And that my son is able to see it too. And now that he's enjoying it, for a minute, I thought he was going to be into sports because that's just what he was liking when he was little. And I kind of was like, all right, well, maybe the music gene just kind of skipped him. And then just all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, he got interested in playing the guitar and he started playing that. And now with his school, he's playing trumpet. So it makes me so happy.
Yeah, he's start his own little ska band pretty soon.
Yeah.
Now, talking about being a child and watching your son, for you as a child, what was it when, music became something for you, when you kind of started to feel different about it? Do you remember like what you heard that piqued your ears at a really young age and said, "Oh, wow, this isn't just cartoon theme songs in the background, which are still pretty awesome, but,
Right.
real music."
We music was just always in our lives. Like my dad always liked music. We always played stuff. Like we'd go to the county fair. We'd do that almost yearly. As we were kids, we'd get taken out of school. We'd get to miss a day of school because we wouldn't go on the weekend. We'd go during the week. And I
Because there's
remember,
less people and it's easier to get around. You can go on everything. You can play with all the games. Yeah, I get it.
yeah. So it was fun. It was like this tradition that we had. And I remember being there and, we'd always go to like the Fiesta Village where they'd have mariachis or they would have bands. Like I remember seeing, I want to say Tower of Power with my parents because they liked them. And so it was just like, they liked music also. So that's just what we had around us. So it wasn't something new to me all of a sudden. What kind of sparked my interest in music differently is when I started playing music. And that just happened to be, I was also at a magnet school and I was in 5th grade and the music teacher's assistant walked into our classroom and just said, "Hey, we're here with the music program. We're going to give all of you guys a test. And whoever passes it, you'll have the option to be in the music class." And it was just such a simple test where he just played a high note and a low note on the piano. And all we had to write was if it was a high note or a low note. And I kind of thought it was a little funny because I was just like, what? This is a test? Like, we're all going to get into this band's class. But so many kids didn't. And, later, once in class, like, they were just like, yeah, some people just don't have the ear for music. They can't differentiate notes. And so a simple test like that did weed out a lot of the kids. And so I just kind of was like amazed by that. I didn't realize that was something. And so I started playing music in 5th grade. I started playing with the flute and I loved it. All my friends were in the music class and we would have performances, after school. So it was this whole thing. Like we we'd had all our regular classes, but then we'd go to music class and play all these songs. And then we would practice after school. We'd practice at home. I remember one of my friends who played trombone, he would sometimes come over and we would practice our songs, even though our parts were completely different. But that was just the thing that we were doing, that we were into. And we went to school right by USC, so all of our performances would be at one of the big USC auditoriums. So it was always just a big deal, when we had our performances, we'd all, dress up, our parents would come out, we would practice, we'd have dress rehearsal. We were there from after school till nighttime. So it was like a big deal. And that's where I fell in love with it. It wasn't even necessarily like a band that I listened to or anything like that. It was more of what I played with my friends and that connection that I had with it. And then, as I got older, I did start, listening to like rock, some Nirvana, the whole grunge scene, some ska and some reggae. And then, and once I got into high school, I decided to play the bass. And then that's where my whole music life really took off.
What was it that drew you to the bass?
I originally learned to play guitar. My grandpa lent me one of his acoustic guitars over summer going into high school. I sat all through summer with the guitar, learning how to play random chords. And then when I got into high school, I went to a music academy, so I was playing the flute there. And then I heard the jazz band, and I was like, I want to be in a jazz band, but I didn't want to play the flute in the jazz band. So since I was already playing guitar, I was just kind of like, well, maybe I can just play guitar in the jazz band. But guitar is really hard for jazz bands. And so my sister's friend had a bass, and so she lent me that. And so I started playing that, and as soon as I played her bass, I was just like, this is my instrument. I love the low sounds. I love the tone. I love the walking bass lines. There was just something about the low end and the simpleness of it. It wasn't as complex as playing, like a guitar chord or a guitar solo or anything like that. Like just being chill in the background, I loved it. And so I wasn't able to make the jazz band because I didn't know how to play that type of music at that point. So I ended up signing up to orchestra, where we learned how to play the upright bass, the stand-up bass, the humongous ones.
That's fun to carry to school.
Oh yeah, well, it's funny because I'm super tiny. I'm 5 feet tall, so these instruments were humongous. But I would have like classmates who would just be like, "Oh, Michelle, do you need me to help you with that?" And I didn't. I could carry it, but I was like, "Sure, you want to carry it for me? That's fine." But my mom, I remember the first day that I took my bass home from school, so I could have one here at home to practice. I told her, I was like, Mom, I need you to come pick me up at school because I'm bringing home my instrument, but I can't take it on the bus. I need to put it in the car. And she was kind of like, okay, I'll go pick you up. And then when she saw my instrument, she was just like, what in the world? You went from playing the flute that fits in your backpack to playing an instrument that barely fits in our car.
Yeah, hanging out the window, the neck's out the window. Yeah.
She was like, this is crazy. And so I learned to play it, and it was so much fun. It's such a fun instrument. I wish I would have kept playing it. But that's, just pretty much in high school is when I fell in love with the bass. I don't know what it is. It's just like, it's such a smooth sounding. It's just so cool. You're not really like showing off. You're kind of just there, and you can throw in your subtle show off finesse bass lines, if that makes sense. But that's kind of it kind of just fits with my personality as well. I'm not too much of like the center of attention person. I'm more of like the low key, quiet, laid back person. So it kind of goes with my personality as well.
All right, so you pick up the bass and you're learning this, you're doing this, you're in orchestra, you're in jazz bands. When you got with a group of people and you had to start your first band, what was your first band's name?
My first band's name, where I played the bass, where I really played the bass, I jammed with this one band, but it was more for like, they just wanted to do some recording. So I don't really consider that being my first band. I want to say the first band I played with, where it was like my band with my friends playing bass. It was we had a Spanish name. It was called Todos Vuelven. Everyone returns. Um, and in that band, we played like punk, ska, reggae, rock. It was somewhat politically driven. Our singer was very into the Chicano scene, so a lot of our lyrics had to do with that. But that was my first band, and then after that, it was Go Bitty Go. It's like I found Go Bitty Go so soon in my life.
And I think that's why it can still continue on. Is I think there's a growing up with something and growing up with the people around you, experiencing the same things with each other allows you to have that break unless something catastrophic, truly happens. But having that break and coming back together, because at a young age, when you experience things and go through things with other people, it kind of stays with you for your lifetime. There's moments in high school that you're never going to remember, but when you're on tour in a car with someone for a long time, you're going to remember that till the day you die.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've made so many memories, like core memories. We started together so young. I mean, the girls had started playing, I just want to say, a few months before they got me into the band, and I don't even think Nicolette was 20. I think she might have been 18 or 19. Like she's the youngest one, because I joined the band when I was about 20, so I think she was about 18 or something like that, when Go Bitty Go started. And yeah, we just did so many things together, so many awesome things together, and so many fun things together. I mean, um, we definitely like will randomly remember, and sometimes it's funny because some of us will remember something and some of us won't, but then the other one will remind us, and then we all just laugh about it. Um, but we have so many memories together, and I think that's true. It's just there's just some friendships that you make that no matter how long you haven't seen each other, or whatever it is that you go through in life, because everybody goes through their stuff. Some people, it's just so easy to just jump right back into it, like nothing ever happened, or like not that much time has gone by, and that's exactly what happened with Go Betty Go. We were just so close for so long. I mean, I think we saw each other the most when we were touring, more than we saw our families, because that's just day and night. When we were on tour, we'd go to sleep, Go Bitty Go, wake up, Go Bitty Go. Then when we were home, we were writing in the studio. Like our job, like we'd be in the studio from 12 to 8 every single day. So we're all connected, and we're tied to each other forever, whether they like it or not.
Yeah, those connections are, and just that whole, you can be apart for a very long time. This summer, I spent time with an old military buddy of mine, hadn't seen each other in 12 years. Within 2 seconds, it was like we just saw each other last week. Like it was just, it's automatic, and it just works because you went through things that no one else will ever understand. And you don't have to talk about things or say things all the time, and you don't have to talk to each other all the time. It just fits. It's a perfect slipper. It just fits.
It's true, and those friendships are so special. Like you just keep them close, and it's great. It's rare, there. I mean, I've met people who don't have friends from when they were kids, or like not that many friendships that have lasted so long. So I'm definitely grateful for these girls and for their friendship. We've gone through so much stuff. We're still going through so much stuff, but it's like we're just so close, and um I think we're just all gonna grow old together and just always be friends. And maybe
I mean,
play
sitting
music.
on the sitting on the porch of the old age home, the four ladies out there in their rockers still rocking.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say I think it was last year. Aixa turned a lot of VHSs that we had from like the videos from camcorders that we had on tour, because when we were on tour, we didn't have our fancy iPhones, or we had the little disposable cameras, or we had a camcorder. That's the only way we were able to keep our memories that way. So she had a lot of videos that she had, um, I'm not sure if it's not transcribed, but like they just made them into CDs or
Yeah.
DVDs. They
Yeah.
transfer all the data, and so it's been really fun to see just old footage. Like sometimes you don't even remember that somebody was recording, and you're just like, "What in the world? Like, where were we? What were we doing? What was happening?" And it's just so fun. It's were you able to see the Keep Up video that Nicolette made?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of like the idea of it, where it was just different footage from different times, different shows that we've had, kind of put together, kind of like a nostalgic video. But yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun to think about everything that we've gone through, all of our memories and all the places that we've been to. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, see that would scare me to take all my VHS because I got a box full from when I was. I'm old now, so um, in my 20s and in my teens and having you know VHS, I'd be really scared to put them on and then sit down and watch them because I'm not sure what would be there.
Oh, you got to do it though. I'm, I'm sure there's embarrassing stuff, but I mean, it'll only be you that sees it. It's not
Yeah.
like today's kids that everything is just documented for them in public.
Yeah, I mean, I like there's certain moments that I remember like a video camera was around, and I don't know if I'd want to see that again. Like, picture this: in my teens, rollerblading, hanging on to a back of a Jeep, going really fast. This is in the '90s, and falling or hitting a bump and screaming like a little girl. I don't think I want to relive that. I don't know if I need to see that, but I remember there was a video camera there, and I think I have the tape. So,
I'm sure your wife would find it very entertaining, though.
oh, I'm sure she would, and then I would never live that down for the rest of our days together. So I don't want to do that. So, look, can you pick a memory for me for better or worse? Like it could be a good memory or a bad memory, but something about playing a show somewhere that for some reason it will never leave your mind for good, and again for good or for bad. But is there one or two memories that you remember that were just never going to leave your mind from performances?
Yes. So I have two that I remember, that have just stuck in my brain. One of them, we luckily somebody videotaped it. I think it was the person who was working on one of our videos for us, our friend Randy. I think he got a shot of it, which was great and amazing. We played this show. I don't remember the name of the place, but it was like behind a taco stand in Hollywood. It was like a really small room, and it was with this promoter named Humbertones. I believe that's what he would promote himself as. And it was just this really cool little small place that we played. And it was just when we were starting out. We had already kind of started having our following, that would, the people that would come out, and it was all packed. It was a small place, but it was completely packed. And we played, and we played our set. Everybody's like dancing, sing along. And there's we have a song "Go Away." I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's off of our Worst Enemy EP. But there's a part in the song where we stop, and Nicolette sings, "I'm not feeling lonely," and it's only her voice. And so we stopped playing, and she went to take a breath to sing that part, and the whole crowd sang it instead. And it was just the craziest feeling. Like in the video you see all of our smiles, like we have the biggest cheesiest smiles, because that was the first time that happened. And we're just like, oh my god, all these people know our song. They all sang the song before Nicolette even had the chance to sing it. And so they all sang it, and we immediately, we kept the song going, and it was just such a good feeling. It was, I don't know if you would say it was like a good high feeling, but it was just so exciting to see that the group, they had came out for us, they knew our songs, and they sang along with us. That was one of the best memories that I have.
Wow. And those are, the first time that happens to a band when you're on stage. And even if there's one person or two people, I'll attest to just that moment when someone's going nuts for it is you can't bottle it, right? It's just, that's the moment where you're like, I guess that's why I just did this.
Right. Yeah, like all the time, that we practice it, that we're playing it. I mean, just to see it kind of come to life in a different way from other people, it was just a crazy feeling, and it was such a happy moment for us, um, because of that reaction of the crowd. So that's one special memory that
What
I think I'll remember till I'm old.
what's your other memory?
So the other memory, the one that I can think of, we opened up for Ozamali. Do you know Ozamali?
I don't know it was a Motley. That's
Oh,
why I
they're great.
just, as soon as you say it, I write it down because that's what I
They're a
do.
fun band. They're really cool guys. We opened up for them, and this was years ago. This is also when we're just starting out, just uh, we're getting, people are giving us a chance to just open up and put our music out there. So we're always super grateful for that. They were playing the Palace. Do you remember the Palace? I don't know if it's still called that. It was right there. It's right there on Vine in Hollywood. I feel like they still have shows, but I know they have like clubs. But anyway, so that's where they were playing, and so we got the opening spot. An early slot. Usually here in LA, opening bands probably, you'll get some of the crowd that's coming in um, early to maybe get the front spots, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're expecting. We're like, okay, we're opening. It'll probably be, few fans if we have any here, and our family and friends that came out because it was, a big show for us. And so yes, I remember, we're backstage, we're about to go on, and as soon as it's our turn to go on, I had peeked outside the curtain, and the whole floor, it just looked completely full, like from front to back. It was just completely full of people, and I was just like, oh my gosh, everybody's here. Everyone's here early. And I remember getting nervous for a second.
You
Because,
can't not. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. You can't not get nervous at that moment. That
oh
when
yeah,
you peek out of the curtain, you're like, "Oh shit!" And even if there's no one there, too, you get
oh
nervous.
yeah, yeah. We get nervous probably before every single show. It's just the natural feeling. It's just you're about to go out there, you're about to put yourself and your music out there, and hopefully everybody likes it. And especially when you're starting out, it's even a little bit more nerve wracking because you're still trying to win people over. So yeah, so like I just looked down and I was just like, oh my gosh, it's completely packed. And 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 Ozamali is very different from our vibe. um but I guess we have some similar crowds, so that's why they had kind of put us on the same bill. And yeah, so we walked out, we did our thing, and we had a good response. But I was just amazed that in LA everybody showed up early and were able to catch our set.
Yeah, it's not very often that I'm now that I'm wiser. Maybe not wiser, just older, and I made certain mistakes growing up, going to shows and not being there for the opener. But I've made a point in my elder years to make sure that I never miss an opener, because the way I'll tell it to people is you never know when you're going to find your new favorite band. And a lot of the times going to see openers, you're going to get something where I've been to so many shows, in the past 10 years where I'm like, well, whoever you're going to see, the headliner, one that stands out for me, I saw a punk band Iron Chic open up for my favorite band Face to Face. And Iron Chic, when they walked off the stage, I was like, well, Face to Face better fucking bring it tonight, because they may have just gotten blown off the fucking stage.
Oh wow.
And, sure as shit, Face to Face never fails for me. But I was like, I found my, a new favorite band. I was like, whoever those fucking guys are, that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. But that's the thing. A lot of times people just, well, I'm only there to see this band. Well, it's music. You paid for it all with your one ticket admission. So go enjoy all of it, because you never
Right.
know what you're going to find.
It's so true. I think here in LA, we're just kind of spoiled because we just have so much music around us that
Yeah, I'm New York City, so for me, it's you. There's a show you can walk in anywhere and see music anytime. So people, you do get spoiled, but that was my thing. I made a conscious decision where I was just like, I'm not going to miss this anymore. I'm just
yeah.
not going to do it.
And that's awesome. That's such a good way. I mean, because I'm guilty of just being like, oh, I'm gonna go watch my friends play. They're closed. I'll just show up for them. But I should show up for the opening bands, you know. And there have been times that I will show up just to enjoy the whole show. And it's awesome. Like there's just so many bands out there. There's so many musicians out there that it's like we all start somewhere. You know, so it's like just to give people a chance. And the fact that, you know, here in LA, there in New York, we have so much music around us, like we should take advantage of that. And you know, sadly a lot of us don't, where in places where you don't get that much music, they're there from the start to the end, because they're just like, we're gonna have the best night tonight and we're gonna watch all the bands, and they just show up and they do enjoy the whole night, you know. So I
Yeah,
just
I truly take advantage of it now in my life. I travel for my, you know, my day job. I travel a lot for work, and my favorite app that I have in my phone is an app called Bands in Town. So no matter where I am in the country, as soon as I get to, okay, this is my hotel, 25-mile radius, what, who's playing around here? And then I just go.
yeah. Oh, that's super cool. I didn't know that. Bands in town.
Yeah, Bands in Town, and you can set it up to wherever you are. You just click on it, and it'll let you know any live music that's going on in the area.
Oh, super cool. That's good to know. I mean, not that I travel a lot right now, but that is good to know. Even just here in LA.
Yeah, I do it too for New York City, and you can put in like some of your favorite bands and make a band list, and it'll give you alerts when they're going to be in that radius that you may set to where it's okay to travel to. But it really is it's an app I constantly use in my daily life, that for live music lovers, that's the thing to do, and I love it. I, you know, getting to see bands that I'm in Portland, Maine. I'm like, what the fuck's going on in Portland, Maine? Holy shit! Royal Blood and Queens of the Stone Age are playing directly across the street from my hotel. I'm gonna walk over there and go to a show tonight.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, I have a friend who he works for Delta, and he, you know, his one of his perks is he gets to fly free. Him and his wife get to fly free, pretty much, I guess, whenever they want to. And that's something that he does. He'll just look up bands that he either has been wanting to see, or he wants to see them in their hometown, or just new bands that haven't, you know, came out to LA but they're somewhere else. They'll fly out just for the weekend or the night just to go to the show, and then they fly back.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know,
Yeah.
that's one of those things. And traveling, I just had it. I saw the Pixies in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was driving through there for work, and I was like, well, I can stay here and just get up early in the morning, and I can see the Pixies tonight. Why don't I do that? Like, and that's it. It's just taking advantage of the opportunities that are in front of you, instead of just being like, nah, I just want to get to the next town. Nope, I stop. I do what I want to do, and that's just it's a great thing, and I'm lucky that I have it too. When I tell people, or you know, I have other people travel with me for work, and I've taken them with me. I'm like, hey, tonight there's a couple bands playing down the street here. You want to go? And they're like, what do you mean? We don't just go to dinner and then sit in our hotel all night? I was like, no, that's not what we do.
We want to have fun.
Yeah.
That's all. You know, and as a musician and that plays in a band, we appreciate people like you, because you know, you guys make the effort to come out to our shows, and or you know, even if you've never heard of the band, like you go out and just like, you know, just support the music scene. Like that's just awesome in itself.
Yeah, if I have that, and if a band blows me away that I never saw before, and I have, you know, a couple extra dollars, yeah, guess what? I'm buying a T-shirt, because that's going to go a long way for them. So, and I know that. So I'm like, hey, you guys are awesome. Let me get one of those T-shirts. And like, and a lot of times, as you know, on tour, you run out of sizes, and it'll be like, well, we only have these two sizes left. I'm like, I don't care. Give me that. I'll give it to somebody I know it fits. But yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's so sweet, because it's true. Like just us musicians on the road, we make our you know, we make money off of our merch. Like
Yep.
that's what it is. And then it's also, you know, we love seeing people wear our merch. Like It's our favorite thing, especially when, I'll see like an old shirt from like back in the day. And I know exactly like around the time that we were selling that shirt. I'm like, all right, that person's been around since way back then. That's awesome, or you'll see one of your shirts like completely faded and you're just like, man, like they've just worn that shirt out. And like it's just such a good feeling, that people actually are out there wanting to support bands like that. It's
Yeah, and a
super.
lot of times it's a badge of honor. I unfortunately for me, I don't have a lot to fade on shirts because honestly, I think I buy a shirt at every show I go to, and I probably go to at this point 8 to 9 shows a month. So
Wow.
I have so many boxes of concert T-shirts, and my friends are like, "Dude, what? That's all you wear are concert T-shirts?" I'm like, "Yeah, because they're fucking cool, and I want you to know the band." And then the next day I just have a different one on, so I can probably go an entire year without ever wearing the same concert shirt twice.
Oh my gosh. That's pretty amazing.
It's
That's
my
cool.
love.
Huh?
I said
It's
that's my love of music and the bands that I want to support, and it's just it makes me think that I did a little bit of my part at some point.
Oh, for sure. I mean, without having fans, without having just music lovers coming out and supporting us, like we would just be playing the music just only for ourselves, so it's a group effort.
Yeah, and that's selfish if you're only playing it for yourself. It's selfish.
It totally is. We have to put it out. We have to put it out. We have to play shows, and it's just fun to hear people's feedback all the time. So it's cool when we come across just huge music lovers. Like I'm a huge music lover, but I don't go to shows to 8 or 9 shows a month. Maybe I should, but
Well,
like I feel
that's
like I
yeah.
game.
I think it was yesterday or the day before I went into my local record store, and they know I'm a music lover, and I walked out with, and it's always a mixed bag of stuff that I get. And every time I put it up there to pay, I get this look of just, man, I can't believe how much you love music. Like this is my purchase the other day was Bad English, Anvil, Lightning Hopkins, and Skeleton Witch. If you went down the list of music there, the looks you get when somebody's like, "What? Like, what do you go home and listen to?"
You're like everything.
Yeah, I'm like everything. This show you that I'm listening to everything? Like it's music. I love it, and it doesn't matter who it is or what it is. Like I like this shit, so I'm going to listen. Yes, I'm going to listen to some 80s pop rock and some awesome blues and then some crazy hardcore stuff. Like that's just I love music. It's so fucking beautiful in any tone that you get. I want to listen to everything because it all makes me happy.
Yeah, that's super dope. We have a band friend who is very similar to you, where his name's Dave, and he is such a huge music lover. Like, I feel like he's at every single show, like every single show that's just out in LA, And it's funny because he will go to every single one of our shows that we have, and sometimes he'll show up to the show and he's just like, "Oh, I was just at so and so's show out in like Long Beach, but then I had to like I flew over here to catch you guys, and then after you guys, I'm gonna go to this other like he'll go to all the shows. He's the such a huge music supporter as well, and it's just the coolest thing to see. Like his Instagram posts, it's like he's here, he's there, he's at this show, he's at that show, and it's all kinds of music, all kinds of bands. You guys might be twins because
We
he
could be
also wears
kindred spirits. Yeah, no, because
for
that's
sure.
definitely I recently just did that. I was at a festival, but a band I really wanted to see was playing. It was like I was an hour and 45 minutes away from home, but it was on the way home. So I call the door guy who I know and be like, "Hey man, I know the show sold out, but I really want to see it. I'm going to leave this festival. Is it cool if I come by? can you help me out? I never ask for anything, but I really got to see this. He's like, where are you? I'm like, oh, you don't hear that? I'm like, I'm at Sad Summerfest right now. He's like, and you want to come? I'm like, yeah. And then my wife and I just get in the car and then we go to another concert. And that's after we just spent all day at a festival. And that's what I live for. That's what I live for.
That's awesome. I mean, that's a great life. And the fact that your wife, your partner in life is down for that, that makes it even cooler.
Oh, absolutely. She's my, you're my concert buddy. That's what I say to her. I'm like, you're my concert buddy. I'm like,
yeah,
it's a cool thing to have. And listen, I go to a lot of shows alone too, but it's like when we find something together that we both get behind and both love, it's awesome. And listen, sometimes she does put on a brave face and I take her to things that she would rather not be at, but she does it for me. And listen, I do the same thing for her. So
yeah, it's a little give and take.
Yep.
That's how life works. I just recently Metallica was on tour, and my son is into Metallica.
That's awesome.
I like some other old stuff, but I've never sat around all day listening to Metallica. But I appreciate their music and everything that they've done. And so he had brought up, and I think it's a festival that just happened this weekend where it was just like Iron Maiden, Metallica, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. Yep. AC/DC played there, for the first time in 12 or 15 years. Yeah.
So it was like a whole weekend festival. And so he had brought it up, asking, if that's something that we could do. And so I was like, well, who is it that you really want to see? And he's like, oh, well, I want to see Metallica, but all the other bands would be cool too. It was just really expensive. It was on the expensive side. So then I was like, hey, I know Metallica is going to come to SoFi. What if we go check them out there? And so he was like, oh, yeah, that'll be cool. And it was a 2-night show.
Yeah, so I just saw them too for a 2-night show. I saw them at MetLife in Jersey. So.
Oh, awesome. I mean, it was such a great show. I enjoyed it. Not even being like a hardcore Metallica fan, I enjoyed both nights. I'm glad that I took my son so that he could enjoy it. He had a blast, and it was just something. It was probably a concert that I probably would have never gone to on my own because I just wasn't ever a huge Metallica fan that way. But I'm so glad that he is, and we went together. And it was just fun. Pantera opened up one of the nights, and so he's really into Pantera as well. And I've never really even listened to Pantera, but just to see this whole other world of music, completely different than what I'm used to. It was just so awesome. I think one of the nights, I don't remember the name of the band, but I told him, I was just like, oh, this band is opening up, and he was all, yeah, Mom, that's Eddie Van Halen's son, Wolfgang.
Yeah, Mammoth. I made sure I was in there because I wanted to see that, and I saw Mammoth, and I walked and I called my buddies who didn't come in that were still in the parking lot. I'm like, you guys just missed something fucking awesome. I'm like, they were great.
Yeah, and I didn't even know who Mammoth was. I didn't know it was Eddie Van Halen's son, because that's my son likes Eddie Van Halen as well. So he's just he's just learning about that whole world. And so he was like, yeah, Mom, that's Wolfgang, his band. And so we watched them. They were great. That's everyone that played. I enjoyed watching their set, even though it's not normally the type of music that I listen to here at home. But I had such a great time. There were no lines in the bathroom for the girls.
The same thing. My wife said the same thing at MetLife. She's like, where were you? You just missed a song and a half. I'm like, yeah, there was a line at the guys' room. She's like, there's no line at the women's room. I'm like, look around.
I was like, the same thing happened to me. I asked my kid, I was like, hey, do you need to go to the bathroom? So I'm going to go. And he was like, no, I'm good. And so I was walking and I saw this huge line, and I was just like, is that the beer line? That must be the beer line, And the closer I got, it was just like, no, that's the men's restroom. And I walked in and walked right out, and it was amazing. The only other time that's ever happened to me was at NAMM. We went to NAMM one year, and the men's restroom line was long, and the girls, you could easily just walk in and walk out. Yeah. NAMM is the music, the big old, what is it? National American Music something, it's like a huge, where all the music brands and labels go and all their instruments and everything's there. But that's the only other time. Metallica and Nam. No, no for the women.
Well, I'm glad you got to have that fun experience of no wait line, but also that amazing experience with your son to enjoy music together. That's beautiful in and of itself.
It was such a fun show, and I'm totally glad we went. So now I'm looking forward to see what else we go to, because he's getting into some other music. So we'll see.
That's awesome. So, here's something. It's usually a pretty hard question for someone to answer. Sometimes they answer really fast. But if no one ever heard "Go Betty Go" and you had to play him a song or two of yours, one song maybe, what song of yours would you pick to play for them to say, "Hey, this is the best representation of who we are and what we do"?
Oh wow.
It's our pick your favorite child segment.
That's a tough question, because I definitely have, Go Betty Go favorite songs that are just my favorite songs. But a full-on representation of, and I don't want to give one that's just the one that everybody listens to.
Yeah, sometimes people are like, well, this is our most downloaded one. I'm like, no, I don't give a shit about your most downloaded one. What's the song that you would play for somebody?
I think I would play either, I'm going to give you two. I can't pick just one. I'm going to have to give you two. I'm going to give you a Spanish one. I think I would play, for someone who's never heard Go Betty Go, I would play them You Want It All and Son Mis Locuras.
Okay, so one off of Worst Enemy.
One off of Worst Enemy and one off of Nothing Is More.
Okay. All right. I'll allow you to have those two.
Just from like the ones that have been out, those two, I love You Want It All just because it's just such a very straightforward, strong song. It kind of has the same feel as Keep Up for Me, where it's just really straightforward, just a good heavy rock song. But it's just one that I've always really loved. We don't play it often, which I think we should, but I know it's a killer on Nicolette's voice. But
play it last.
I think we should play it, start bringing it back into the set list. And then Son Mis Locuras is it's such a fun Spanish song that we play. It's like fast paced, like, it shows our audience just like, our Latina side.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Fun. It's super fun to play.
Okay, we've talked about a lot of bands we've seen, bands we've been around while we love music. Do you have a band in your life that you constantly turn to, a band that never lets you down, that just something that is always there to pick you up? Listen, I know there's certain bands in our life that have let us down with a couple songs or two that they've had in their albums, but you can always go to this band when you need something in your life. You're like, I don't know what I want to listen to, but you always put on the same band because they never let you.
For me, I think that's The Cure. I love The Cure. I hope that was a good.
So do I. That was a great sigh. Yeah, I got to see them for the first time this year too. So it was. They are. This is how I always. My buddy described it the best. Like, I'm growing up, and the world that I grew up in and the music. I was a punk rocker, but I absolutely loved The Cure. And one day, and this is probably recently too. He's like, I kind of get why you love The Cure. I'm like, why? He's like, well, you had an older sister, and they all loved The Cure back then. And he goes, you were in high school being like, dude, I love The Cure. And everyone's like, dude, you're stupid. And he goes, now that, I'm almost 50, he's like, I get it. I love The Cure now too. He's like, but I didn't get it back then because I didn't have that someone to show me how to get into The Cure. He's like, and you had your sister. And I was like, yeah, that's where I got it from.
Yeah, they're just the type of band that I can listen to if I'm having a sad day and they'll kind of cheer me up, or if I'm having a happy day and they'll just keep me happy. Like, it's just the kind of band, like you said, if I don't know what else to listen to, I can just put them on and I'm going to feel good.
That's all. I'm so happy you said that. Yeah, that's awesome.
And even with all their multiple lineup changes, in the end, Robert Smith.
It's Robert Smith. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just so cute, even with his like crazy hair and all that. Like, I think that's what I love about it as well.
Oh, and I just saw him at MSG, and I had said to one of my friends, like, he's like, "How was it?" I was like, "It was spectacular." I'm like, but was also spectacular was looking at Robert Smith, being like, he looks like a 65-year-old Long Island medium, you know, talking to people, who are dead. But he killed it. I'm like, they played for 3 hours and he killed it. So that's all
Yes,
I cared about.
they're so good. I mean, there's some bands that may not sound live how they sound on the record, which is okay, or the other way around, and they're just, it's like they sound just as good, if not even better, live. It's just like the whole connection with like the audience and them playing, and they're just so good. They always sound so good. I've seen them a few times. I didn't get to see them this last time that they played at the Hollywood Bowl here in LA. I just wasn't able to get tickets. But I've seen them there a couple of times and at the Shrine Auditorium here by my house. And man, like they just don't ever let you down. They're just
No,
so good. They're so
I,
good. And they play, they not only do they play, new songs if that's what they're promoting, but they still just always play their hits, the ones that people want to hear. And I know that sometimes as a band, like that's kind of hard to do, where you're just like, oh, we want everyone to hear our new songs, and then some bands just won't play their their hits or the popular songs. Like they want to just kind of play the new songs, which I get also, but it's kind of has to be a little give and take at shows where you give the audience a little of what they want and then give them something new, you know?
yeah. I mean, and they played 2 encores. Uh, and of course, their second encore is all of the major hits. And some people are like, oh, why'd we get so many new songs? I'm like, you only got 3 new songs in the entire set, and they played 29 songs. Like, relax.
Yeah, they're so good. I love them.
Amazing. All right. So I don't want to keep you here all night. We could sit here talk about music all night. We've done it for quite a while already. So I'm going to ask you a hard hitting question right now before I give you some time to tell everybody how to find Go Betty Go stuff. But so the hard hitting question is: a meteor's crashing into the earth. We only have 5 minutes to live, and you have to listen to one song. What song are you listening to?
Oh no. What song would that be?
Only hard hitting questions here, Hidden Tracks.
The last one was pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
I knew the Cure right away. Gee, I mean, I feel like I would want if it's over right after that meteor hits. Maybe I'd want to hear one of our songs just to go out with a bang with the girls.
All right.
Um, I just don't know what song that would be.
You want it all?
You want it all. It's such a fun song, yeah. Yeah, maybe. Oh, you know which one? I think maybe I would want to listen to Laugh Again. That's a song that we've hardly ever played live, and it's so fun. It's one of Betty's favorite songs as well. It's like it was a fun song recording, it's fun song making, and I think we should play it again. Also, I think we need to just add some new songs into our sets. That would be a good one. So that's my answer. Laugh Again.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, before our final segment, which is our final segment, is our weekly threes. It's 3 things that you're listening to right now that you'd like people to listen to. So before we get to that, why don't you tell everybody how it is they can find you? Basically, this is the tell your handles segment of the show. So how everybody can find what you're doing. We do know you have a new album coming out in 2024, which is right around the corner. Keep Up was the first new single off of it, which is fantastic. So if that's any indication of what's coming, we'll all be very excited. But I want people to be able to keep up with you guys. So why don't you tell them how to do that?
Sure. So on Instagram, our handle is GoBettyGo Official. You can follow us there and get all the updates that we put up We are releasing some singles coming up. Our next one that we're going to be releasing is November 3rd. So that's going to be exciting. Right now, currently, we have about 4 that are completely ready that we'll be putting out. So Instagram is our main one that we use a lot. That's where, yeah, like I said, we'll put up if we hopefully have some shows coming up soon in the next year, depending on Betty's health. And she's doing great. And
Good. We wish her the best. Been following that. So, and if people don't know, Betty's going through a cancer diagnosis, and so when you can buy their merch, let's do it for some good things in life, please.
Yeah. And we aside from the merch that we have, we also have a shirt that we're selling for her in her benefit, for just to help her with like her medical funds and just life right now that she's going through all her chemo. So we have that for sale, and on our Instagram we post when our stuff's coming out. If we have new videos that are coming out, if we have shows, we'll post them. We post updates about Betty's health as well, so everyone can follow along and say sweet words to her, because that completely helps her. I think it keeps her spirits up and going. And we have a link for her GoFundMe as well, a link for our music. For I believe our Spotify link is on there, and then our video link that we currently have out. We also have Go Bitty Go official on Facebook that we also have. And those are our 2 major handles. I don't think our website is really up right now, but I mean, Instagram kind of works as that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll be flushing that out as well when we promote this episode. We will help you out getting all that stuff out there as well. I just wanted to give you that opportunity to tell everybody yourselves how to do it, so they don't think I'm just some asshole saying, "Hey, go do this." So I'll let you be that one.
All right.
All right. So before we end, we are in our final segment. It is our weekly threes. It is 3 things that you're listening to right now that you would like people to check out. You tell me your 3, then I give you my 3.
Oh, let's see. My first. Wait, anything that I've been listening to, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so my first is definitely, and my son laughs about this because I talk about it all the time, is the Smartless podcast. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's with you have.
It's so Will Arnett, I think, is one of the funniest guys ever. It's just he's so comical in everything he does. And I just watched the whole thing they did on Max.
Oh right, yeah. So the video, but yeah. So it's Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes. I've always been a fan of Jason Bateman. And I didn't really know much of Will Arnett other than like small things that I've seen him. But just listening to this podcast, he's, like you said, he's so funny, and he's becoming one of my favorites.
Well, they just rag on each other. They're truly best friends. Like all 3 of them are really close. So it is just being in a room with 3 people who have no problem shitting on each other, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And they're all so quick-witted, just like one of them can say something and they're just so fast at like just saying something so funny, and it just cracks me up because I love that dry sense of humor. And then the guests that they have are pretty amazing. It's kind of, I like listening to things where I am going to learn about somebody that you probably wouldn't know from just, I don't know, watching their movies, listening to their music. It's kind of on a deeper connection, kind of like your podcast. Get to know.
That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, I love listening to stuff like that. So I'm going to start listening to yours as well, because I did skim through it and I'm like, you have so many, so I have to get to know like new people as well. So that's one of my favorite ones. It even made me, like, just listening to their podcast, it made me go and start watching Arrested Development and just go through Jason Bateman movies that I like, and I want to watch Will and Grace again. It's just fun, and it's funny to see these 3 successful people they just started their podcast just to be fun, just to have something fun. And like when they get people who go on there who are just so like, oh man, this is great, we enjoy it, they're kind of a little humbled by it, because they're like, what, we're just, like you said, three guys that just like rag on each other, and people are actually listening to it.
Yeah, I
And
started this because of conversations I had with people at concerts and the arguments that I got into with my friends, like about music. So I was just like, I'm just gonna do this. Like,
yeah, and it's awesome. It's really there are times, like if I'm at work, just have to be stuck on, on a deadline doing something that's just very strict.
bullshit. You can say it, bullshit.
I'll listen to a podcast all day. Like I'll listen to however many episodes fit into one of my work days. And it's amazing. It's so good. And it's like I'm sitting there with a smile on my face because it's just funny. People must think I'm crazy. Like, what is she doing? She's just smiling at her computer. So yeah, so I love podcasts. So I'm always interested in learning about new ones. What's another thing? Another thing I've been listening to lately is Los Fabulosos Cadillacs. Have you heard of them?
I have. Yep.
And I love them. And I don't know, I just one day recently I thought of one of their songs and I just started playing it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I love all these songs. And so I've been playing that a lot.
Awesome.
I listen to that. I want to say I've been listening to them for the past week. If I'm not listening to a podcast, I'm listening to them. And then my third thing, what else have I been listening to? I've been listening to Nirvana with my son.
Ah,
it's a flashback for me, but
that is a band that comes up at times here, and I always said Nirvana's one of the greatest bands that I probably never listen to their music ever again. Like it was so influential and it was so powerful when I grew up. I grew up when it hit. I was in high school when it hit, so it was a big deal. But it's also one of those bands I'm like, they did it. They broke the mold, but I don't have any itch to ever go back and listen to it.
Yeah, I was in junior high when they were doing all their stuff, and I remember listening to them all the time and just like learning songs of theirs, here and there when I was learning guitar as well. And I listened to them a lot. Like I was a huge Nirvana fan. And then, yeah, the same, it kind of just dropped off, dropped out of my life for a minute, where I was like, oh yeah, I love Nirvana, but I haven't heard them in so long. And then my son discovered them and he's all about them right now. And so
you're like rediscovering it all over again, but through his ears, which is cool.
Yeah, like he'll start playing a song on his guitar and he's like, Mom, do you know this song? And he's playing and I'm just like, yeah, I know this song. And I just can't remember the name of the song because it's been so long since I've heard it. And then he'll tell it to me, or we'll start singing it. Like the words will come out or like the melody comes out before I can even remember the name of the song. And it's cool, because it's like, oh, I remember way back when, I listened to this with my friends, or, the whole grunge phase was going on. And it's sweet to see that kind of come back through him.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's certain music that I'm like that with. Same thing with movies where I'm like, that was the greatest movie that I never want to watch again. Like it was just so good, but I'm like, I'm never, like, one of my favorite ones, and it's a music movie, was Almost Famous. I absolutely loved that movie when I saw it. I was like, that is such a great movie, but I never want to sit through that again.
Yeah, I just saw that movie once too, and I loved it, but I just never. I've seen it to watch sometimes, but I've never just clicked on it. Like it's not a movie that I'll sit and watch again. But I've never thought of it like that. Huh. I wonder why.
Weird. I don't know. All right. So that's a good 3 for you. It's my turn for my 3s this week. My first one is a band called The Subjunctives. They have a new album out called Let's Try This Again. It's Seattle punk rock. Some of you who grew up in the punk rock scene maybe know one of the individual's former bands, a band called Sicko. But there's a new band called The Subjunctives, and the new album's fucking dynamite.
Cool. I'm going to have to play that and play it around my son too. I'm sure he'll dig it.
Awesome. Number 2 is a band called Neighboring Sounds. You may know them because I've had them on a couple years ago because I was a big fan of the guy's earlier band. He went away and came back with a new band called Neighboring Sounds. The name of the album, which is hopefully at the release of this will be out, but they got some singles out off of it already. The name of the album is Cold in the Smart City. They're a Norwegian indie emo whatever. It's just great music. Go listen to them.
Sweet.
And last but not least is my home state band. They're called Flycatcher. They just released an album, and it's really hard, and this is where my appreciation for music really kind of makes me love so many different things. It's really hard to do what they just did, but the name of the album is Live at Studio 4. It's a recorded live album, and it is absolutely beautiful, brilliant, and sometimes you don't capture what you should be capturing when it comes to that stuff, and they truly did it, and it's really awesome. They're just an indie band from New Jersey called Flycatcher, Live at Studio 4. Go check it out. It's fucking beautiful.
Nice. I haven't heard of any of those, so I'm going to check those out for sure.
That's why we're Hidden Tracks.
Yeah, I love it.
We find the bands that we want to stand behind, that we feel need some more eyes and ears on them, like that. And that's, what the whole mission of this is. Go Betty Go is phenomenal. I love what you guys do, and I just want more people to appreciate you the way I do. So hopefully this did it for them today. Hopefully.
I hope so. I hope we get new fans. It's always fun to get new fans and meet new fans and find out how they heard of us, Yeah. That's always interesting.
But before I throw out the tagline, I want to say this, and this is, I don't blow smoke up people's asses because I truly mean this. Thank you so much for what it is you do. We appreciate what it is you do by putting your music out there, your heart and soul, and because it's a hard thing to do. People think it's very easy. For some people who aren't great creators, it's easy for them. But truly talented people, I do know that it becomes pretty hard. So I want to say thank you for all you've done for all of your fans that are out there, and hopefully your new fans. And we appreciate what it is Go Betty Go does. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Oh, of course. Thank you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we love to do on our spare time, so we appreciate you guys just as much.
Well, thank you for that. And everybody, you know what time it is now. It's time to go out, listen to Go Betty Go, and have a great fucking time.
Seen
Thanks again for tuning into the Hidden Tracks podcast. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at HiddenTracks99. Also, send all your submissions myhiddentracks99@gmail.com. Tune in next week. You may find your new favorite band, and don't forget to go out and have a great fucking time.